It's 10:16, so I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 10:16 here at the Caddo Nation of Oklahoma, and this is our quarterly meeting. And I think we have 38 here. Is that right, Jennifer? And we have 8 online, and so we have a quorum. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And before we do, I'm going to say a prayer. There's some announcements that I have before I give some opening remarks. I'm going to ask that each of you help me today. I need your help. And this is the reason why. We lost one of our elders who's 96 years old, and they brought him home. Unbeknownst to the tribal government, this meeting was already set in motion. We cannot get out of this meeting because it is a constitutional law of the government. However, our traditions come first. That's the way we were raised, and that was the way we were taught. And yesterday, we put Merle Keys away. He's one of our last silversmith that's a man. Comes out in Nettie Parton. His mother passed away in 1890. He was born in 1927. And him and his wife, we took him to Nasunda, place of the soldier in Fort Cobb, buried him next to his mother. But today, because we're in a situation where you have a government and then you have your traditions, sometimes those things they don't seem to match. Our tribe, our language, our culture, how we do things as a tribe, that's what got us this. This did not get us that. We have to take care of that. And unfortunately, there's only a few people left that know what to do. And unfortunately, I'm one of them. And they asked me to take care of Merle. So the family is next door at the AOA building, and they've been cooking, and they've been there all night. And so we're going to go through an agenda. And this is where I need your help at. We're going to read the minutes. I've got some opening remarks. All the programs and budgets are, they're all online and they're next door. And then we're going to talk about constitutional reform and the election in 2025 and funding the tribe in perpetuity. And we have a little film. The questions that you have about the tribe, I'm going to ask you to write them down, please. On this piece of paper, find a paper, get them to us. We will respond one way or the other. At the next membership meeting, we may call you. If you want to know something, write your number down so that we, will respond. And I'm going to let you guys know how we'll respond. We had one of our elders here last membership meeting. Maybe she'll be here, Gail Codesy. And she mentioned that all the directors wasn't here and our programs, they wanted to see the programs and the directors. So today they're all next door in the O Casino, and they all have a booth there, and they have some things they're going to do for the kids and all kind of stuff going on. And you're able to talk to them, and they'll have hard copies of all the reports with them there as well. And I want y'all to go over there and have a good day. And then they have some food trucks too. I think if you get a coupon, they'll give you something to eat, something to drink, and something to nourish your body. They said that if you're not Caddo, you're on your own, but I don't know. Maybe you can twist someone's arm. But I just wanted to mention that if y'all could help me today, and so we can be reverent with our elder that went on, and so we can pause here and I can go over there because we got to take care of those things, before, at noon. So with that, I'm going to say a prayer and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Hoya hayo kakea heya bosa hayo konaris ka konaris jo konahako konahatiro ahayo ana hebo asehebo ahayo hano ahayo gautsia doko deba ahayo diti dawina ahayo tiki dawina hano hasina ahayo. Our people here, forgive us, Almighty God, for the way that we are in our lives. I ask that you bless everyone here from the oldest to the youngest. You can touch their mind, their spirit, and their heart from the crown of their head to the soles of their feet. Bless our people. Bless our dance ground, our language, the ones that carry our songs, our Native American church, our elders that we have left, Almighty God, wherever you find them, however you find them, I ask that you be with them. Those that are incarcerated, those that are in need of a prayer, those that are in need of your Son, Jesus Christ, in their life, I ask that you uh, help them to understand your will so that we can all get along in this life here on this earth, to love one another, take care of one another, and try to be the best person we can be in your likeness to your Son, Jesus. I just ask that you continue to bless our tribe and continue to bless our works that you have given us. Continue to look down upon our tribal elected leaders and all our elders that are here today, that are in this room, those that are not here. You can bless them and watch over them. Let it be a good day today for all of us here, Almighty God, so that we can have an understanding and have some love in our heart for you. If I left anything out, I ask you to take care of it to your Son, Jesus. Amen. Okay, I think we have a quorum for sure. Now, I think we have passed out all the minutes that we could round up. I think we went and got more copies. Where's Matt at? Matt's not in here? Okay. So you should have copies of your minutes. And if you guys want to look at those minutes, and then if anyone has any comments or anything, please raise your hand, and then we can get those approved or go from there. Is there any, while you're reading that, is there any past elected leaders here? Just raise your hand if you've been on the council before. Anthony, raise your hand a little bit higher. Anthony was the chairman for a little while at one time, right, Anthony? I want to thank you for being here. Tammy, thank you for being here too. You know, she was a chairman too for a while. And then Philip, appreciate you. He's on the council too. We're glad he's here. So just wanted to recognize you guys for being here. Thank you for showing up. Okay, we'll give everyone about 3 or 4 more minutes with the minutes. They're pretty lengthy. So if you want to, if someone wants to make a motion to pass them, or just raise your hand. Beatrice Johnson made a motion to pass the minutes. Do I hear a second? Second by Mr. Cousin, Jim Cousin. All in favor, raise your hand so we can get a count. You got to raise it high. How many? Okay. Well, there's 51 that raised their hands. So the minutes have been passed, and so we appreciate that. And I don't think there's anyone abstaining. Raise your hand if you was any abstentions. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue on. I'm just waiting on some folks over here. Yeah. Okay, so remember here earlier we were talking about, at our last membership meeting, I think Gail just walked in. Gail, I'm glad you're here. the last at the last membership meeting, you had mentioned that you'd like to see the programs here and the reports here and talk to them. Today they're here next door at this building. They're all down there, all the reports. But and I was down there, and when I was asking them their service area, they were telling me they stopped at the Washita River. And yeah. Gibson up here somewhere down to, and of course, I live on the other side, the south side of the river. Yeah. Well, I want to mention something before we go too far. Okay. Just because you walk, no, just because, no, out of, yeah, yeah. You just walked in, but you missed something. We're going to talk about the programs and have a couple of things on the agenda. And we asked everybody to write down any comments or things that they have because we're going to cut it short. The reason for that, Merle Keys had passed away and they brought him home. And we buried him yesterday, and the family's next door. And they have they're next door, and I've got to start that fire, and we got to take that food to the grave. So I have to. I asked everybody to help me out. So I'm gonna ask you to help me out, and we're gonna try to get this taken care of so I can go next door and take care of that. Okay. Right. I'm glad she said that. See, she knows our Caddo way. And just so that everyone's clear, right? That's what got us this, right? And that comes first. But the government was on the hook when this was already set in motion, like I was saying. And then that happened and the family came. Well, now we just got to take care of it. So out of respect for the family. So all the programs and budgets, just so that everyone knows, they're all next door. And we want everybody to go over there, enjoy yourself, get to know the people, get to know the directors, get to know all the employees, introduce yourself, ask questions. The budgets are there, even online. If you want to, look online for the budgets, that's fine too. That's why they're here today. And then also, I don't know if Stacy's here. Half Moon, is she here? Is she online? So I don't know if you can unmute her. Stacy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me know if you can unmute her.
They can hear me online. Can you hear me, Bobby?
Can you hear me, Stacy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I got some great news. We all know that we talked for years and years and years. It's been talked about for decades about our Constitution not being where it needs to be, like in today's day and age and society. And we talked about a three-tier government, a Congress, a Senate, not all power vested in one body, because that Constitution is basically a template that the United States government shoved down our throat, like most tribes. So we had a gentleman trying to work with our people. That didn't work out too well. So we regrouped. We have some gentlemen here that comes out of the cousins. Like cousins are cousins. They're all cousins over here. And it's kind of got to meet with them. But just so that everybody knows, we're looking at constitutional reform for the next 500 to 1,000 years of what the tribe's going to look like, not tomorrow, not for a week or a month, but for the future generations of the tribe. That's going to take all of us. That's going to take everyone in a community. That's going to take, going out and visiting people in Oklahoma City area, Binger area, Fort Cobb area, Anadarko area, the tribe. There's almost 8,000 members today, just so that you guys know. We're climbing up to around 8,000 Caddos. We're averaging probably, I don't know, around 20 to 30 a month enrolling. Right now, we're the largest tribe next to the Kiowa and the Comanche. That's how fast we're growing. And if you look at this room, we have children coming behind us. And we want to make sure that our Constitution protects those children, right? And if we don't look at our Constitution, eventually those kids down the line, they won't be able to even get enrolled. And we have some of our people that's been disenrolled for the wrong reasons, and we have to fix those things. One of them is Shirley sitting here, right? And the things that she went through, and I'm glad she's here. So I just want to let everyone know, Stacy Half Moon, Road Caddo member, she graduated recently with Indigenous Law degree at OU. And she's worked at Emerald City, worked up by the Pentagon. She helped form the Repatriation Committee back in the early 1990s. She's been around the tribe for most all her life. Her mother's been here, helped a lot, her family, even her grandfather, Hubert Half Moon, where Half Moon Circle gets its name from. That family's been here a long time. So Stacy is online, and we found out, working with Harvard Law and OU, and she's going to explain a little bit more. We're not going to have a chairman of a committee, and we're not going to have a forum, like a sanction committee. The reason for that is when we visited with all the other tribes that's looking at constitutional change, the more groups you get involved, instead of having everyone involved, it doesn't ever happen. It just doesn't happen. It just falls on the wayside. So all 8,000 people, if you want to talk and get your thoughts out there related to the Constitution, related to what your thoughts are and your family and your concerns, Stacy is the person. She's going to write that stuff down. She's going to be visiting. She's going to be doing the things. And eventually, she's going to be working with Harvard Law and OU and the legal piece to put all that together. She's already working with a group in Oklahoma City with the cousins and Buzz. Buzz, you had a meeting at your house, and we really appreciate you, having that. And I think Jennifer, you was over there, Wilson. And so, Stacy, I'm really glad you're there. If you want to say something about the Constitution or introduce yourself, and I'll just turn it over to you for a second.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm not sure if you can see me, but I just wanted to thank Bobby for the introduction and say that I'm really excited about working with the tribe to help revise and reform our Constitution so that, as he said, it can become something that truly reflects who we are as a people, who we are as a nation, who we are as a culture, and, lays out a vision for how we want to operate as a nation. And I very recently came on board, so I am listening and learning to best understand how to undertake this process. As you all can imagine, there is a lot to consider when you're revising a constitution. There, a lot of reviewing how it's currently written, what does work, and areas of the Constitution that we really feel should be revised. There will be a survey coming out. There will be messages from the council and the chairman coming out to help frame what we're doing and why this is happening and what some of the issues are, and then surveys to follow that so that we can hear from all the citizens to be sure we're on the right track and that we're thinking of everything. So there are a lot of very intelligent Caddos out there who care about this, and we really hope to get your input and your feedback throughout this process. Right now, we're still even fleshing out how long we think it might take to do this, to have the appropriate number of community meetings, to be sure we have surveys that go out and really help us understand how the citizens feel about different parts of the Constitution, and even developing the three-part government element of the Constitution has a lot of implications. When you begin to flesh that out, it changes the way some things are already structured. So it's just very exciting, though. I think it's so important for our future generations of Caddos to have a strong Constitution. And I'm really excited to work on this. I appreciate the council hiring me to help. I'll also be helping on other cultural projects as necessary, whatever it takes to help the tribe. And I also just want to, I do want to extend my condolences to the Keys family. I hadn't heard about Merle, and Merle was so wonderful. When I used to work there in the cultural department, he always came to visit, and he had those beautiful combs. And I'm so lucky to have one of Merle's combs, and then also a beautiful feather barrette he made out of silver. Just a wonderful man. I hope his everything goes well today. So appreciate you, Bobby, that you can help with that. That's a real blessing. And on that note, also, we do want to be sure to update our Constitution so that culture is reflected in the Constitution. And we have some really great models, even here in Oklahoma, where tribes have gone through this revision process, and we're doing research on, how they've undertaken the process, how they have incorporated things into it and taken more ownership in the voice of your Constitution by adding things like who you are as a people and what your goals are, and retaining culture and perpetuating the culture. I've reached out to the OU Law Program, and we're going to get some really good guidance along the way to help us so that we do this right. We're thorough, we do it correctly, so that in the end, the citizens who vote to adopt and approve, that everything is in line. So appreciate everyone's support. I'll end for now, but just thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you, Stacy. Also, this is something that we're going to work on. Stacy has no idea this is going to happen, but right now she's going to find out. We want her to go to the East Coast. We have Caddos that live in the East Coast, and we want her to visit people there. We want her to go to the West Coast. We have people on the West Coast. We have people south in Texas. We want her to go visit those individuals down in Texas. We have people in the north. We want her to go there as well. And so not just this community. So hopefully we'll be working on some budgets related to that with the tribal government. So I really appreciate her being online. The next thing we have is the election for 2025. The election board, what we have left of them, is here. Christy, I'm going to come up, and she has a couple of announcements, and I'll just kind of turn it over to her.
Thank you. I'm bringing Beatrice Johnston up here. We're two of the 5 election board positions, and we've each served almost 4 years on this current election board. I think the first thing we want to say is thank you to Charla Moore. She's not in the room any longer. She went over to man her booth, but she taught us a lot and has rolled off the board. So we are looking to fill 3 positions. You need to be at least 18 or older, be a registered voter with the tribe, and be ready to work with us. You do have to pass a background check and not be related by blood in a direct way, such as brother, sister, daughter, or son to anybody on the election or on the council. Also, if you intend to run in the next election, you wouldn't be eligible to be on the election board. But we need help. And if you're interested, if you would please see one of us so that we can get your name down. We need to run background checks on everybody who's interested and be able to move forward in that way. So come up to me or Beatrice at the end or anytime. Do you have anything that you want to add? There's nothing that says that, but if they're willing to work and make in-person meetings and be able to fulfill those roles. Yeah. We're gonna try to make a decision about who will fill the 3 positions that are open in the next 30 days. So that's why we're really calling for people to step up today. And it'll give us time to get with you and get the background checks done and be able to move forward. Anything from you? Okay, thank you. I believe that last meeting, you all talked about the election that's going to be taking place in 2025. So we need a full election board to be able to execute a legal election in 2025 to fill the chairman, treasurer, Oklahoma City rep, and Binger rep positions on the council. Yes, ma'am. It will be in July of 25. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. The positions again are chairman, treasurer, Oklahoma City rep, and Binger rep. Not at this time, but I believe that's something that's going to be discussed when the constitutional reform discussions take place, because I know that's been a trend and a topic that's been talked about a lot. So it'd be important to bring those things up at that time. 3 positions on the election board. And then in the 2025 election, there will be 4 positions that people will be running for. If you're volunteering for the election board, it's not a situation where you run. That's going to be a situation where we select that. So what we will do once we get 5 people on the election board is we will select a chairman and a secretary, and we will select who's going to be on the board 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 year. Yeah. Yes. At this time, we are looking to fill 3 positions, and Beatrice and I have remained committed to making sure that we have a full functioning election board. We've been part of an election board that's executed 3 successful elections, and we continue to aim for that going forward. Any other questions? Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is just so that everyone knows in this room, all I do is chase money every day so that this tribe will not be broke. There was around 28 to 34 employees 3 years ago. There's over 100 employees here today. That's not counting all the subsidiaries and businesses and things that we're doing. And we're able to go from debt to around just with grants, 99.9% of everything we do is grants. It's competitive grants. The government just don't hand us something. Used to, the BIA would give you $1 million and you bring it to the members and you create a budget. Your budgets today are all in these grants and what we do. 99.9% of everything we do is competitive, whether it's state or federal, private persons. It's just grant dollars. We tapped out probably over around 100 million, and we're continuing to grow. But if you don't take care of those dollars right, the government will ding you for it, and we can go right back to where we were. So with that said, we're going to fund the tribe in perpetuity. That means forever. And we're going to do it by not on indirect costs and grants. Those days are over. We're going to do it related to the energy resources that we have right underneath our feet. There's over 6,000 wells, oil and gas wells in Caddo County. Over 657 oil and gas wells on Caddo Nation lands. That's not counting the Latis. We have fractionated interests in that. We're going to tax these companies. We're going to take back our resources. Right now, we took control over around 1,000 acres of land. Some of it has lake. We have one that has a 30-acre. And so, with a lake, we're going to open it up publicly for our people. We're going to do a lot of different things and I have no idea why my speaker keeps out. But to fund the tribe in perpetuity, we're going to do that not with gaming. We're going to do it with clean energy sovereignty, because you've been sitting on it for decades. It's right underneath your feet. It's right underneath your feet. And right now, I'll give you an example. We have one well that's producing 700 barrels of oil a day, where they went outside of a private land and drilled underneath a Caddo allotment. And they're taking their resource. No tax. We don't even know if some of the heirs in here are getting paid. Some of your checks that you're getting from your IM account may say $1.83. It may say $2. Why is that? We're going to audit every fractionated interest that we have as a tribe. You as a member, if you don't understand those papers that you get, you're going to be able to come to our energy department and say, I got this letter in the mail, and I know I see those oil trucks go in and out, but all I got is $2. We're going to figure it. And trust me, this is going to happen. We were just awarded $3 million to cap around 17 orphan wells. That's just the start. If there's product in those wells, we're going to take it to market. If there's 600 barrels of oil in there, we're going to take it to market. We're cleaning up the land environmentally. We got $1 million to set it up administratively. We got $3 million to cap wells, and we're looking at a $7.2 to $7.5 million plugging company, and we're doing it with, guess what? BIA loan guaranteed money and federal money. We're using federal money so the tribe won't be in debt. You don't have to pay anything back if we do it right as a tribe, and we move the tribe in perpetuity financially right. That's what we're going to do. And I just wanted to let everyone know that, because, everything we do, the most important thing, and I've visited with Governor Bill Anatubby. Everyone here on the council had met with him and their people down in Ada. And one of the things that Bill Anatubby said, and we was really grateful that he was with us all day, is that continuity is everything when it comes to a tribal government. And when you don't have continuity, you don't have anything. In 1975, they were broke. A lot of fighting, a lot of things that were going on, people not getting along, people didn't trust one another, people pointing fingers at one another. They went through the same thing. Where were they at back in 1975? In 1977, he became the governor of the Chickasaw. A lot of people didn't know that he's a CPA. Today, they do billions of dollars in revenue. I went up to the Southern Ute. The Southern Ute Tribal Council voted to help the tribal government and our tribe. And I want to thank the Southern Ute there in Colorado. They've done over 200 million in energy development projects. They passed a resolution by tribal council and their energy board, one of the wealthiest tribes in the country, to help the Caddo Nation get a handle on their energy and energy sovereignty here at the tribe. And we just passed a new tax ordinance related to oil and gas and severance tax. We have every company you could possibly think of: ExxonMobil, Shell, Kinder Morgan, all these companies right here. They've all been here. Now, with that said, we had 14 professors show up from OU. And these 14 professors, was pretty incredible what they do. And we're going to look at taking gas and look at a cleaner source of energy. The Department of Energy has clean energy dollars, and we're going after those dollars. So the last thing I'm going to show is a video that was put together here by 14 professors called Range. It's a group of professors at OU, and they just sent this video, and this is a draft, and I want you guys to see it. You can go ahead and play it.
From our perspective, it's also very important to speak to the communities and understand what communities' needs and wants are. We want communities to tell us what they want to see as the technological challenge solved, then bring this challenge and try to solve it together.
Welcome to the Caddo National Child Care Center.
Caddo National in particular is very keen on workforce development and education.
This is the swimming pool, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're making hydrogen. That's our goal from the natural resources. And based on community input and feedback, we can tune the way we approach that to best meet the needs of the people who are going to be impacted by it.
Caddo's always been around water because we can't live without it. So we have access to water, and about 110 acres here. And so we're going to be developing
Caddo Nation connection came about just a few months ago with one of our colleagues who attended the Energy Tribal Summit.
Some of our relationships with tribal nations started with the Citizen Potawatomi Nation.
The Caddo Nation representatives were really interested in the work that we try to do. They really like this community-centered approach.
How do we become self-sufficient? How do we empower our people, educate our people? How do we partner with individuals like yourself and move forward together as a community?
Understanding how we can collaborate more and learning from what the technological advances and challenges can bring to the rural communities of Oklahoma.
The top 2 or 3 things that we will be discussing are related to these technologies that we're trying to develop on hydrogen and how you can produce hydrogen from natural gas, and the research activities that we have here at the University of Oklahoma.
Whether it's solar, wind, geothermal, blue, hydrogen, or fossil fuels, how do we transition to cleaner energy?
We are just really honored to be invited to come and to learn about their nation, about their cultural practices, about their economic interests and their economic hopes and dreams for the future.
So what we really hope for Range is that through this collaboration, we can persuade one another, we can engage with one another to understand that how communities see this transition is the most important.
They sent that yesterday from OU. I just opened it up this morning, and it's pretty incredible. So I'm just glad that, you know, we're able to show you. In the facility that we were in is the new Child Care and Community Center on I-40 that we're building as a nation, and we're building it ourselves. And we want to take a tour out there. Maybe we'll get a bus and get our elders and our people to go out there and see it soon. If you guys are interested in taking a tour when we're able to. Right now it's, you know, it's OSHA rules, but we want to get everybody out there as soon as we can too. With that, remember what I was saying. I need your help. If you have any questions, please write them down. You know, we have what we need to do next door. I think there's a lot of things down here that people want to have fun today and go see. And I think they have some stuff for the kids to do as well. But I'm going to ask the council if they have anything to say before we close the meeting. Yes. Go ahead, Yo. That's correct. Lauren, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Come on. Lauren is a director and she knows how to answer those questions. And after we're done with answering some of those, then we're gonna make some motions to move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's a lot of questions that you had there, and I like to talk, so I'm going to streamline the best way that I can. I do just want to give a nod to Michael. He is going around with food vouchers, so make sure you visit Michael or myself before you head out of here. We have the food vouchers for you guys before you head that direction. So Hinton, we'll talk about the Hinton location. So the land space, I came in as a childcare director 7 years ago. And since then, building a building has been on the project. There are former council members that are sitting in the audience today, that this has been a project for the childcare development program for years. There was a lot of things that had to happen, and a land space was one of the majority things. Our funding, a lot of grant funding can't buy land. So the land became available, which is a beautiful piece of property. And we do have a need up there with a lot of commuting families with Caddo children, even in this area. This is a very rural area. Not too many of our families, and if you're from this area, do not work here. A lot of them are on the highway going forwards and backwards to Weatherford, to El Reno, to Oklahoma City. So we needed a space for that. So that's kind of why the Hinton area, we do have a need there. We do have a need. We service 17 counties. So we service the metro area all the way down, like kind of towards Cache, Purcell, up to Logan County, past Edmond. So yes, we serve over 300 children. Our program services over 300 children. For childcare specifically, we provide subsidy assistance for families that need to pay for childcare for full day services. So that's one part of the programming. We also have our Hacienda Scouts, and we have our cultural programming, and then we have our outreach. And so we kind of address issues also through like our outreach. One of the number one things when you're kind of asking what else are we kind of getting out of this multi-million-dollar facility, one of the biggest things is that we don't have in this area as a whole is safe spaces for families to interact, right? Positive family interactions, and elder and child interactions are my two main goals that we do with our programming. So that is why part of that building is a library, is a gym, and is a pool. We have outdoor space for an outdoor classroom, and then also we're working on community gardens. So we're also trying to build gardeners, which is why we have 3 gardeners here, 3 garden sites here on the complex that I'm very proud of. Our kids have been very like working hard on that. They have watermelons coming up. They picked some okra the other day. So those are some of the efforts that we're doing there. Yes, that's happening here. It's still a building process. Those are things that when our program is not going to pick up and move to Hinton, it is expanding our space. And so Hinton is expanding our space. While that is kind of coming to kind of like the wheels are moving in that motion, we're also working to try to move towards Anadarko area. And we're also, in my big goal plan is to also move to the metro area, but everything has to happen in phases. And so once you close out one phase, and this phase isn't even closed, we're entertaining ideas of trying to create a presence in a space for us in Anadarko. And so that's an effort too. No, we're working on that currently. That is something that we're actively trying to work on. They go to several different spaces. Like, how do you mean? Where do they go that Caddo Nation is fitting the bill, like in our building, in our space? Yeah. So we service 17 counties. So when you say like Caddo children, like when you say, how do we service Caddo children? The way that you state that and the way that I state that and look at that as a whole is very different. I get a lot of calls. We also seek donations throughout the year. So when we have family members that are outside of our service area, I was just talking to one yesterday, inquiring about school supplies. So we seek donations throughout the year so we can also service and celebrate those children outside of. I can't utilize that with our grant dollars because we're locked into counties. But when you tell me and you ask me, how do we service all of our Caddo children? I'm thinking of Caddo children even outside of. And we did that with our kindergarten graduates, those that graduated, we sent them based off of those donations, we've sent them gift cards to celebrate them. And I think our in-state ended up getting like stole. So if they were outside of our county area, the same thing with last year, if they applied, we sent them a gift card. And those come from the partnerships and people and even Caddo tribal members that live outside of the state. They have for years have contacted our program to say, what can I do? And that's always my number one thing is, can you send us like $25 gift cards? And then we send them out to members that live outside of the state or outside of our service area.
So I'll answer that because we got some stuff we got to do. Just so that everyone knows, it's not us, it's the government. You know, like housing, they'll say, this is your service area, food service. I'm not going to get into answering, you know, we got a whole lot of people here. So here's what we're going to do. I've got something I have to take care of traditionally. So like I said earlier, just out of respect for Merle, Keys, and the family, we're going to go ahead and call it good right here for right now. Okay? Just at the moment. You know what, Diane? Okay, here's. Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a minute or two to say what you need to say. That way we can move on because I have to close this out because only the chairman can do that. Come on.
First of all, I'd like to say that I understand that when this council took over, there was nothing there. There was zero there. There was nothing in the building and there was no money. And what y'all have accomplished in the last 3 years is phenomenal. Is absolutely phenomenal. And everybody needs to it. And I hope to see continuity continue past this next election, because it will take continuity of our leadership to build what we need to build. Chairman, I can't understand how you have done what you have done when your entire C-suite are volunteers. So I hope that when we're building up our businesses and we're building up revenue, we're building up a budget where all of these people can be full-time. Because until they're all full-time, we're not going to be like the Cherokees, the Chickasaws, or them. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate everything that y'all have done. And some of y'all I love personally and would kill people for. But the Caddo Nation citizenship recognizes the urgent need to review and reform our tribal constitution to better reflect our community's current needs and aspiration. The Constitution significantly impacts our governance and daily lives and must evolve with our changing circumstances. We are now 3 years into a 4-year term, and the process is yet to begin. Many citizens are increasingly concerned with the Tribal Council's perceived lack of urgency in addressing these important issues. The current Constitution empowers the Council to create an ad hoc citizen committee. Under Article 4, Power of the Tribal Council, Section 2G, authorizes the Tribal Council to establish and regulate an ad hoc committee for conducting tribal business with committee chairpersons appointed by the Tribal Council. By establishing an ad hoc citizen committee to oversee the Caddo Constitution Modernization Project, we ensure diverse representation and active citizenship participation in this critical process, fostering greater transparency, accountability, and inclusivity in our tribal government. The need for this motion stems from the increasing dissatisfaction among the citizens regarding the perceived lack of urgency by the Tribal Council in addressing constitutional reform. The motion that I am proposing would read like this: to establish and empower an ad hoc citizen committee for overseeing the Caddo Modernization Project for the Caddo Nation of Oklahoma, as authorized by Article 4, Power of the Tribal Council, Section 2G of the current Constitution. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the citizens of the Caddo Nation of Oklahoma direct the Tribal Council to establish and regulate an ad hoc citizen volunteer committee specifically tasked with overseeing the process of modernizing the Caddo Constitution with the following parameters. The ad hoc citizen committee would be comprised of 9 members and a chairman. The chairman shall only vote to break a tie. 4 members would reside in the state of Texas. 5 members would reside outside Oklahoma, representing the Northeast, Southeast, Southwest, Midwest, and West regions of the United States. The list of states assigned to each region is at the end of this motion and ensures a diverse representation of our tribal community. Number 2, the committee members would be approved by the membership and appointed by the tribal council, and the committee members would be volunteers. Volunteers. The committee shall have the authority to conduct meetings, gather information, select community input, and provide recommendations to the tribal council on matters related to the Constitution reform. And number 4, the committee shall present its findings, recommendations, and timeline to the tribal council no later than September the 15th, 2024, and every 30 days thereafter until the project is completed, and presented to the membership at the October 2024 membership, and every membership meeting thereafter until the project is completed. Be it finally resolved that the tribal council will provide the necessary support and resources to the ad hoc citizen committee to ensure its effective operation and success in overseeing the Caddo Constitution Modernization Project. Now, I have been coming to membership meetings for 2 decades, and there have been motions passed like this multiple times. The very first membership meeting that I attended under your leadership, Bobby, this council, this membership seated a housing authority. So what's changed?
For one, we didn't legally need to have a housing board under HUD rules. And 2, you can't shove this down our throat as an individual, as a member, because there's a legal process. The legal... hold on, Gail. I'm talking to her, okay? Diane, you just got through saying things that's a complete lie. You represent this tribe outside of this area all the time without the council's approval. All the time you do this stuff. And I'm not going to let you sit there and dictate this stuff, okay? It is, but you're going to go against the Constitution. I'm not going to let you do it. So you want... no, you want to be the chairman of this board and sit there and dictate this whole thing. We hired her. She has a scope of work. You know what? We're not getting into this. I'm done. Well, go ahead and you listen to her then. I know one thing. So who's going to pay for it? Who's going to do the work? Who's going to put it together? Oh, yeah. That's... Let me see that. Let me show you. I know who wrote that. Or did anybody else see it? You said all these members, you just brought it in here and just did what you wanted to do. You don't think I want that? Well, then something's wrong in your head.
Can we take a little bit of a break? We have children in here, and I know voices are getting raised. Well, no, that's not very respectful to our children, but let's just discuss this a little bit further. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. I think maybe we should.
What do you guys want to do? This is your tribe. No, hold on. No, because we're going to go at this. I got Memorial's dinner to go to. I got to take care of it. I'm sorry. But we got to end this. What do you want to do? We need to get together and look at it legally. Right, I understand. Look, I'm gonna, okay, all right, just so that everybody can calm down just for a moment, because this is what happens when you stir stuff up. Then calm down, please, calm down for a second. Okay. There's a process. The council can vote people in, but the council has to review it legally. You came to a membership meeting to get something voted in. That's fine. The membership has to understand too, there's a legal element to it. That's all I'm saying. And I haven't seen what she's provided. It would have been nice if you would have gave it to the chairman and the board before. You never gave me anything like that. You haven't gave me anything like that.
Can I make a recommendation that we table this for the next quarterly and then give us time to go over what you're submitting? No, but what you're saying, I do understand.
This chairman is telling me exact opposite of what that chairman said, what that chairman said, and what that chairman said. And I want to know where in the Constitution it says members cannot make a motion at a meeting.
I did not say that.
Or then let's go with the motion. Then let the motion run, Bobby.
It is confusing. I mean, because the governing has the authority to set an OHAC committee, but the membership gave us that authority. That's right. They don't.
In order to have a constitutional change. It's not a constitutional change. It is not a.
Okay, hold on. Everybody just calm down for a moment. Please. Diane, please. Please. All right.
It's not changing the Constitution.
Okay, hold on. We got a question over here. This is calm down, Diane. Just hold on for a second. Well, hold on, Diana.
My problem is that as a member of the tribe, you're asking us to put this into order without giving us each a copy to read for ourselves what's written in that document.
Now we open it up and everybody discusses the motion. And the motion may change. The law may change. And we talk about
I'm afraid of changing. Because if we read it today and it says this and we vote on it and it changes a month later at the next meeting, then that worries me. This is one of the reasons I want to see what you're asking us to cast a vote on. I have no problem with you presenting it. My problem is that, one, we don't have a copy, any of us, to read it. My problem is that you've asked us to make a decision on something that I can't read. It's like Congress passing a law that the rest of the senators didn't get a copy of, or it's 1,000 pages and they hand it to them on that morning and say, vote on it.
I appreciate that very much. Like I said, if this would have been handled correctly, then we would all be entering a discussion right now about the details of the motion. And then the motion would be repeated, and it would be fleshed out till everyone's comfortable with it. But then that conversation, we may decide we don't want to do it, and it dies completely.
Okay, Diane, just hold on for a second. Diana, can we do this? Can you ask, let's put this on the agenda of the next membership meeting. And can you please give us what you have? We'll review it and we'll visit. We already know you guys are meeting. We're all for that. We're not saying no. We just need to be able to distribute it right. Okay?
And tell us where in the Constitution it says that we can operate motions before. That's what you need to do by the next meeting. Because you are the only chairman that is not allowed a motion to come
It needs to be on the agenda. That's the Constitution. All right. All right. Thank you for your comments. All right. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pause, okay? If everybody's with me on that. If anybody can make a motion to convene so I can take care of things next door. We can visit. Okay, hold on. What? Okay, you have information? You have something over there? Do you have something I need or what? Nothing.
First of all, thank you all for your service, and I appreciate everyone, everything that you do for the tribe. It's amazing. Transparency is important. But what I do want to say is I'm a substance abuse counselor for George Hawkins Treatment Center. I'm a tribal member, and the treatment center is in cycle 10, and we're taking applications. I have information. The treatment center open, the next cycle starts right after Labor Day, the 4th. So please, if you have family members, please, I'm a resource. I have reached out to the tribe before as a resource for tribal members that want to get into substance abuse treatment. And so I only have 4 applications, so if we need some, maybe someone can Xerox them off. But just I want you to know the next cycle is literally opening up in the beginning of September. So if you would like resources for treatment for your families, I have them. And everyone have a blessed day.
Yes, I was going to say something. No.
I'd like to make a motion to put this request on the membership meeting for next meeting.
Motion's been made to put Diana's everything that she said on the agenda for the next meeting. Motion's been made right here. Second.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
There's Jesus and we count. We want to make sure we do this right.
I'd just like to say something about the lady who talked about George Hawkins. Cattle members, Costa from Anadarko, are cattle people that have drug and alcohol problems. So we're located in Anadarko. So I know a lot of cattle don't know that. So you come see us if you got a family member or relative that needs help with drug and alcohol. Come see us in Anadarko. Costa.
Just a motion that we made. Do we have to notice anyone abstain? Anyone? Or if you don't want it on the agenda, you're gonna have to raise your hand. Okay, all right, we only have one, I think, that says they don't want it on the agenda, or two. Okay, so where's Diana at? I can't see because I don't have my glasses, Diana. Diana? I have Diana. Diana. Okay. Diana. My sister passed away. Her name was Diana too, COVID, so I apologize. So I think that's pretty much it, right? 32-0. It's on the agenda. Diana, we appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. And we're going to go ahead if someone can make the motion to Stephen. Motion's been made to pause for now by Stephen Edmonds. Do I hear a second? Second by Anthony Carter. All in favor, say aye. Raise your hand. Now that's a lot of hands. Is everybody hungry? And guess what? We found some elders money too. We're going to be looking at helping our elders, just so that you know. All right, we get a count. Everybody take off to adjourn. How many? Everybody, we need to count your hand to adjourn. How many you got? 33. 33. We're no abstentions, no no's. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming. Everyone have a great day. Give a round of applause for everyone. Thank you to the Cousin family for putting this group together as well.